Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. So today is part 2 of my Dollar Tree Fall Porch Decor video. If you want to see part 1, I will link it below as well as in a pinned comment. But today I'm going to show you how I made my wreath, my 2 planters, my little bench, and I'm so excited and I really hope that you enjoy this video and you stick around by subscribing to this channel, because once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
And please hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a video. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with my woven planter, and for this I'm going to use the Dollar Tree burner covers. Now I'm going to use the smaller size, but of course you can use the larger one. I'm also going to use some dowels from Dollar Tree. I do have 2 packs and I think I used 22 dowels, but it all depends on the size of your burner and how you space them out. Now I'm not putting them way too close together, but I'm also not putting them very far apart because I do want this to look pretty woven. Once I have all of my sticks in place, I'm going to use 13-foot rope from Dollar Tree, but if you want to save yourself some money, just get yourself a pack of rope from Walmart or Home Depot, wherever you'd like, because it brings a whole lot more for less money. Now you're going to start weaving it one in, one out, and it's going to look funky at first, but once you make your way around, you're going to see what it's going to look like, and it starts to look really, really cool. Now when you first start doing this, it is a little tedious because you have to go above all of those dowels, but once you get closer to the top, it's not so bad. I go ahead and attach my second rope right where my first rope ended, and I continue all the way up. Now it's up to you if you want to cover the dowels completely or if you want to have them a little exposed depending on the plant that you're putting on this. This is what it looks like with the dowels peeking through a bit, and if you want to cover it, just take another piece of rope and go around. Since there's not enough space, you are going to have to use hot glue all the way around, and then if you want to cover this up, just grab some extra rope and wrap it around. I ended up using 4 of the Dollar Tree ropes in total, but like I said, if you want to save some money, definitely consider just buying a bigger bundle of rope. Now I'm going to secure it with some hot glue, and then I'm going to flip it over, and it's time to put in whatever plant I want. Now for me, I am going to do some yellow mums that I had, and I think this looks absolutely gorgeous. Next up is my fall wreath. Now I am going to be using a bigger wreath form, mainly because my Dollar Tree wreath was destroyed from when I made pumpkins last year and I didn't realize this was the only one I had left. But I did get this on clearance at Michael's. If you're following along at home, you can of course use a Dollar Tree willow wreath, and I'm going to use this pumpkin from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove it from its base, and as you can see, I already removed the little sunflower that's on there, and I'm also going to add some popsicle sticks to the back. Now you're going to want to add it a little higher up so it has more support, and I'm just going to wedge it wherever it fits on the wreath. Now I don't like using glue on these because I really do like to reuse them, and now I'm going to use some Dollar Tree mums and these beautiful little orange flowers. I'm going to pick them off of the stem, and then I'm going to start wedging them wherever I can on the willow wreath without using any glue. And this is actually really, really secure. I do this every season, and not a single flower falls off when it's raining or windy. For this entire wreath, I used 4 bouquets of Dollar Tree flowers, the orange ones, the mums, and the other little orange ones, and a pack and a half of these pumpkins, so 5 in total. For the only area that I used hot glue was for the sign, just to cover up the part where I removed the sunflower that was stuck on it, and then I filled the rest with the white mums, put some in the back to give the sign some support, and added my other 2 pumpkins, and when I was done, I had a super cute and affordable wreath. For my next planter, I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree Halloween cauldron, and even though it is super cute, to me it doesn't really look like a cauldron. It's shaped funny, it just looks like a bucket with little feet, and since I've had this a few years, I realized it has a little hole at the bottom, so I thought what better way than to repurpose this into a planter. Now I did try to remove all of the adhesive. I even used adhesive remover and it wasn't budging. So now I'm just going to add these little dowels to the bottom. This I got at Walmart and it came in a pack of 6. So I'm just going to hot glue them into place. You can do a combination of hot glue and E6000, totally up to you, but they do have holes at the bottom, so you want to make sure you fill them with hot glue first. Now initially I was going to spray paint it, which is why I'm adding the feet, and then I decided to do some chalk paint in the color Pool. This I did get at Walmart as well, and I am going to use my sponge brush to paint this. Now this is going to look a little funky when you start. I was regretting my decisions at this point and thinking I should have just spray painted it, but when I saw the contrast in color, I decided I should just keep the feet, that natural wood, and go ahead and paint the rest with the blue. And I think this looked really, really good. I didn't do the inside in case I actually planted the plant in there, you know what I mean? But I did do everything else, and I did do this in 3 coats. So now I did the handle as well, and the handle was kind of unnecessary because you can't really see it, but I used Inca Golds. I've had this forever, and you can also get it at Walmart. So I brushed that on just to give it a little bit of shine, and when it was completely dry, I went ahead and just kind of left it alone and added my little sunflower, which came from that sign that I used for my wreath. I just attached it using hot glue very carefully so that I don't have to move it around. And now I went ahead and added my little mums. I thought it looked a little plain, so I made a bow, and then I hot glued it to the handle. And then I had this cool, unique little planter. For my next decor piece, I used my famous planter, and I will leave the link to that video below. I used some Dollar Tree stickers to write out Pumpkin Co., and I didn't do a very good job because it's not very straight, but I was kind of okay with that. It looked cute, it looked funky, and I'm able to remove the stickers so that I can use it for Christmas. I did pick this little pumpkin off of one of the Dollar Tree signs, and I lightly glued it on there so that I can remove it after fall. And now it's time to fill it with stuff. So I did fill it with random things to give it some height, and then I started to put in random things from Dollar Tree, like this little straw bale, which was super messy, and then a bunch of pumpkins that I've collected. Now, if you are planning on making this planter and you cannot find the bamboo cutting boards, just use regular wood. Use the puzzle pieces, use Jenga, get creative. I do have the measurements in one of my community posts, but you can measure it out to whatever fits. So when I was done, I had this adorable little decor piece, and I think it looks so cute. Moving on, I am making a little bench, and for this I used the stir sticks from Lowe's. I did use 5 packs in total, and what I'm going to do is I am going to line 5 of them up. You can use less, you can use more. It depends on how big you want your bench. Now I am going to flip, so I'm going to have alternate pieces, one going up, one going down where the handles are, and then I'm going to measure it out, and that measures out to 7 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 6 pieces down to 7 inches, and I'm going to add 2 on each side. You can either cover up the little handles or not, it's up to you. But once I add them, I am going to make sure that I let every section dry and make sure that everything is nice and aligned. You want to let it dry before you flip it over so that your popsicle sticks don't shift out of place. Once it's dry, you can go ahead and flip it, and you're going to do the exact same thing, which is add some popsicle sticks or stir sticks, sorry, for some extra security right in those same sections. Now, I am going to let this dry again, but before I move on, I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and straight. So I used my straight edge and kind of just did my thing. So now I'm going to add the other 2 pieces that are the same side to the sides. These are going to be the side panels. Put some wood on the bottom just to give yourself some support and press that in. If you have something to hold it up, a bottle, anything, just use that to hold it in place. Use a ruler or a square tool to make sure that everything is nice and aligned. And when that dries, you can add a stir stick to the front and to the back using the same method. Now, if you don't want the side panels to be very thick, you can always just replace the stir stick with a thin popsicle stick. I was originally going to use the Dollar Tree rolling pins, and I couldn't find them at any of my stores, all 5. So I went to Lowe's and got this dowel. They cut it down for me. I did 4 pieces, which ended up being 12 inches each. And then I sanded down the edges. Now I did go ahead and use the same footage for my Playhouse makeover because I had to recreate that same bench. Now this one is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to add a generous amount of glue and place them in the 4 corners. And I'm going to make sure that this dries extremely well before moving on to the next step, which is adding 2 more of the stir sticks. And this stir stick is going to be facing the other direction to make it look a little less obvious that these are paint sticks. I'm going to add my glue just to where the legs touch, and I'm going to add it to the other side, and 2 more side pieces. Let it dry really, really well, and now you can flip it over and do whatever you want to it. You can add some nails for security. If you're using this for something very, very lightweight, you don't need to do that. But if you're using it for something heavy, definitely add some nails to the sides and to the top. For this particular bench, I went ahead with staining and I used Dark Walnut by Minwax, but of course you can use coffee, watered down paint, shoe polish, whatever you want. Because I made this bench to be outside, I sprayed it with spar urethane and made sure that it dried really well. This is meant to protect it from outdoor weather, and when I was done, I had this adorable little bench as well as my Dollar Tree planters, truck, and my beautiful fall sign. So I really hope that you enjoyed part 2 of my fall decor videos, and if you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. As usual, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will hopefully see you on the next one.